The only way you're going to become successful in life is when you accomplish your goals. And I know that sounds like common sense, but common sense is not common. If so, everyone would think the same. You have to realize that the only reason why you're not successful is because you have not achieved your goals. You have not accomplished being the version that you said you wanted to be. And until you realize that you accomplishing your goals is going to require time, energy, and effort, you will automatically feel like nothing is working out for you. You have to understand that things are not always going to happen when you want them to or overnight. You have to be okay with going through the process and riding the wave to get to where you need to be. So with that being said, welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, then that means it's not in line, which means it is not for you, so don't force it. As well as grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. For the month of May, we have been going over and discussing how nothing in life is going to last forever, which means you're going to change, which means you're going to evolve. So for today's video, we're going to talk about how in order for you to continue to evolve and to see the fruits of your labor, you have to be able to be in the present moment, and you have to be able to show up regardless of how you are feeling, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and just some things that you need to be aware of. So starting off with the first disclaimer, you may not always be in the best mood when you're having to show up for yourself and become the best version of yourself. And the reason could be for multiple factors. Maybe because you don't feel like you have the resources. Maybe you don't feel like you have the support. Maybe you feel like you have to struggle. Maybe you feel like you're behind in life. Maybe you're comparing yourself. Regardless of what it is that you're feeling, you have to be able to learn how to control your emotions, because if you allow the negative emotions and the negative thoughts to get to you, you're going to quit. You're going to tap out. You're going to feel like this is not worth it. I'm not seeing what I want. And you'll never be satisfied. You'll never be able to move past the challenges and the obstacles, which the challenges and the obstacles is what is going to determine how you become the person you need to be. Like, if you ask for a house, you have to understand that there's certain maintenance that comes with you having a house. Like, there comes a certain level of responsibility as well as commitment. So the second disclaimer is knowing that because there are only 24 hours in a day, doing what you can with what you have. Like, yes, it may not be fair that you don't have the resources, you may not have the tools, you may not have the education, you may have to go above and beyond. Let's just say your goal is to get a brand new car. Maybe you have to walk to work, maybe you have to take public transportation. If you're not willing to be where you are with what you have, you're not going to be able to see progress. You're not going to be able to see results because you're still worried and focused on what you don't have. Focusing on what you don't have is not going to contribute into your situation, and it's not going to change your situation. And I'm speaking from experience. Like, yes, it may seem easier said than done, because it's like when we want certain things, we want them immediately, or we want them how we want them, which you're allowed to have desires. But speaking from experience, what has helped me along my healing journey was to realize that if I don't have certain resources in my life, I have to use the ones that I do have. Like, it's so easy for people to focus on what they don't have instead of being grateful for what they have. So learning to be grateful, which is the third disclaimer, is going to take some time. It's going to take a process. It's going to take a lot of practicing, basically, because it's a skill. Like, learning how to get better at the things that you want to experience in life, if you're not somebody who's naturally been invested into that, requires time. You have to realize that our goals are investments. Like, you accomplishing your first time being a homeowner is a big deal. You accomplishing you losing weight is a big deal. Whatever your goals are, you healing yourself out of poverty, it's a big deal. You healing yourself from trauma, it's a big deal. Like, you have to realize how important it is for you to show up. Like, you have to realize, yes, some days may be easier than others. Some days may feel longer than others. At the end of the day, you have to realize the day is going to end. And even though things are not happening immediately, doesn't mean that you're not putting in the effort for it to prosper and for it to flow. Like, you have to realize, if you want a seed to grow into like a fruit or a vegetable, you have to plant it. Once you plant the seed, it's not going to sprout and grow overnight. It's not going to blossom overnight. And nobody wants to hear that, but that's the harsh truth. And I'm speaking from experience. Like, I've had to realize that, you know what? all the things that my mentors have said, all the people that I've been inspired by and who are doing the things that I would like to do are going to tell you the same thing. It's not you actually accomplishing the goal that was difficult and challenging. It's what you had to do to become that person. It's who you had to be to become that version. It's what you had to let go of. It's what you had to change. And until you get comfortable with changing and adapting and doing what you need to do, nothing is going to change. And that's when all the doubt and the fear and the insecurities just take over you. So the last disclaimer before we get into the recommendations on how you can learn to, what are we talking about, you guys? See our goals all the way through. My bad, I have my notes right in front of me. Is just knowing that you don't have to rush. You don't have to compare yourself. Like, everybody doesn't want the same things in life. So looking outside of you, if people are not willing to support you, educate you, or point to you, is not going to help you. Like, you worrying about how other people have got what they've received, it's not going to affect you, because even if you were to copy people or feel envious of them, they're still living the life that you want for yourself. And there's no need to. Like, once you realize that, yes, you may have a different route, but you want the same goal, you will be willing to show up for yourself. And that's going to be part of the first recommendation. You have to realize what's in your control and what's not. In order to be successful at whatever it is that you want to experience, you have to know what you're capable of doing, what you need to learn how to do, and what you need to fall back from. So if your goal is to heal yourself from childhood trauma, such as being a people pleaser, or somebody who was shy, or somebody who allowed people to manipulate them and gaslight them and lie to them, you have to practice and accept the fact that, you know, what you allowed back then, you're not going to allow. Your communication, maybe you didn't know how to speak up for yourself. You're going to have to learn how to speak up for yourself in situations in real time. You have to be able to isolate yourself and separate yourself and ask yourself, you know, is this how I want to be talked to? Is this how I want to be treated to? Like, you have to know what it is that you want in order for you to accomplish it. Until you're specific and intentional and can point it out, like, directly what it is, you're not going to know what to do. And that's the second recommendation. Once you realize what's in your control and what's not, start focusing on what you're able to do. So if you were a people pleaser and you were somebody who didn't know how to speak up for yourself, you need to start going on Google and looking up how to express myself, how to articulate myself. You need to see a therapist. You need to see a psychiatrist. You could book a service and a session with me. My description is down for you below with my website. You have to be able to articulate yourself. Like, whatever you didn't do, you have to start practicing doing. So therefore, when you're having conversations with people who are for you, they'll know, like, okay, these are my boundaries, these are my non-negotiables. If they're not willing to meet me where I am, I can separate myself. Things that you need to fall back from, maybe you used to yell at people, maybe you used to curse out people, maybe you were so quick to fighting people. If that did not lead you to you becoming better, or that's not what you want to experience, you have to realize, okay, instead of putting my fist up, instead of me cursing people out, instead of yelling, let me learn how to breathe. Once again, go on YouTube, use Google SEO, how to regulate my nervous system through breathing, how to calm down my mind. Like, you have to be able to put in something. Like, if you're not willing to at least try, like, my content's not for you and it's not gonna work. Like, you can't get mad at people for doing things that you want to do when you don't realize what they did to get there, and if you're not even willing to try. And as your favorite mental health specialist, I'm not here to enable you. I'm a grown adult, and so are you. And grown adult, of course, is not a specific race or gender. Scientifically, based off of statistics, people say people that are from like 25 to 32 are considered to be adults, because that's when your frontal lobe develops. So that's what I go off of. But even still, like, even children at the end of the day are going to have to learn from the choices that they make and the decisions that they make, because everything comes with a consequence. Everything comes with a price. So if you can't afford the price, you need to work on that. So the third recommendation is knowing that when you have control over what you have control over, you're practicing and you're evaluating what's working, what's sticking, and what's not. Allowing yourself to be content with that. Allowing yourself to be confident. Like, you have to work on your confidence in order for you to see something all the way through. The days that you're having negative thoughts and negative energies, in your notes in the comment section, when you're with your therapist, when you're with your psychiatrist, when you book your service in your session, you need to be asking yourself, well, why do I feel this way? If you have a goal, let's just say to lose weight, and you've been exercising, you've been working out, and then all of a sudden you feel negative or you start doubting yourself. What triggered you to feel negative? What caused you to feel like nothing was working out for you other than you not reaching the goal? Because you have to realize the only time you're going to complain or doubt yourself or be insecure or not confident in yourself is when you haven't done what you said you wanted to do. You have to realize once again, like, what it is that we're asking for. It comes with a certain level of quote unquote discipline, as people like to say. So once again, if your goal is to lose weight, and let's just say you've only been working out for a week and your personal trainer tells you that you need to work out for 3 months, you can't be upset. Like, you gotta hold yourself accountable. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I hold myself accountable, so I'm speaking from experience. If you don't like to be accountable, send and share this video to somebody who does. But that's the truth. Like, you have to be accountable. Like, if you've only worked out for a week and it takes, like I say, 3 months to see your results, be for real. Because you're the only person who's going to be disappointed and sad, not your personal trainer or the people who you look up to. So the fourth or fifth disclaimer, or fourth or fifth recommendation, because I lost count because this light is extremely bright, is knowing that you do have to take your time. If you said today that you wanted to lose 20 pounds, you're not going to lose 20 pounds in a day. If you said today that you want to buy a house, you may be able to buy the house in a day, but you're still going to have to move. You're still going to have to go to your realtor. You're still going to have to sign paperwork. You're going to have to move in. You're going to have to furnish your house. All of that's not going to happen in a day. If you have a goal to get yourself out of poverty, if you're broke and you have $0 in your bank account, I mean, I'm not going to say it's not possible for you to make money the next day, but even if you did get money, let's just say $100 the next day, that $100 is not going to last you but so long. So you have to realize that the things that we want require us to live a certain lifestyle and to become a certain person. So if you're willing to show up and you want to know how and what you need to do, I recommend that you watch the 30-day consistency playlist challenge. I'll have it here in the description down below or somewhere up here. If not, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media platforms and book your service in your session so we can go over specifically step by step what you need to do, because there's a time and place to do certain things. But most importantly, as long as you take your time and you're not comparing yourself and you're being mindful of what you're able to do daily and you're not overworking yourself and you're resting when you need to rest, you'll get there when you need to get there, not when you want to. And you have to be okay with that. Like, you can't control the outcome sometimes. And you have to be okay with knowing that as long as you're able to control what you can do, you will make things happen if it's meant to be. So I love you. You're loved. Let me know what you need to work on. Let me know what you need to resonate with. Let me know what you need to talk with and work with. And like I said, follow me on my Instagram or on TikTok if you guys want me to continue to go live talking about this for the month of May. Drop the word live in the comment section down below. Okay? So then, thanks for watching. Peace.